72,000 views on the smaller channel. Exact same game, exact same month, exact same topic. The bigger creator poured weeks of deeper research into a video that is objectively better in some ways and still only got 21,000 views. The way the video was packaged beat subscriber count by over 3 times. Here's how. As you can see, they're both story explained videos on the game Reanimal, both being uploaded within a 30-day window, but not Wom edging it by exactly 1 day ahead of Green Links. The channel on the left, Green Links, has more subscribers, but the channel on the right, Not Wom, has less, but has more viewership by 3.4 times. I went through both videos, and the one that lost is actually technically more thorough than the video that won. It has more research, more details, and it's a 26-minute analysis on a game the creator clearly cared about. But it lost to an 8-minute video from a smaller channel. 4 decisions made before anyone even clicked was the problem, and it's completely fixable. A quick thing that I need you to understand before we continue, because a lot of people have this backwards. A title is not a description of your video. A title is a promise to your viewer. A title communicates what the viewer gets, not what the video is. In under 2 seconds, a viewer that's scrolling the browse feed decides one thing. Does clicking this mean that I gain something or miss nothing? Your title determines which one they feel. The story of Reanimal describes the subject. It tells me what the video is about. There's no urgency, no exclusivity, no reason to choose this over any other Reanimal video on the platform. Now, on the right side, the complete story and true secret ending makes 3 promises. Completeness, I won't miss anything. Exclusivity, as in there's a secret. And urgency, clicking away means I'm missing something very specific. Every word is doing measurable work. That's the difference. Now here's how you audit your own titles. After you create one, ask yourself, what does the viewer get if they click? I call this the why should they give a fuck rule. If your answer is they learn about X, that's a description. Rewrite it. If your answer is they get a specific outcome, an exclusive insight, or something they'll miss if they click away, that's a promise. That's your title. And the thumbnail has one job most creators completely misunderstand. Before we get into that though, real quick, let's go over what is CTR. For those that don't know, CTR, aka click-through rate, is the percentage of people who actually seen your thumbnail and clicked on it. If 1,000 people scrolled past your video and 10 clicked, that's 1% CTR. The higher CTR, the more YouTube pushes your video to new people. Your thumbnail is the primary driver of that number, for sure. And most people think that a better thumbnail means a cleaner, more professional image, more polished, more aesthetic. No, because here's the problem with that. This thumbnail is clean. 2 characters, well composed, professionally done. You look at it and immediately understand what you're seeing. 2 figures from the game. Got it. The problem is you then move on because there's nothing left to interrogate. However, let's go to the other thumbnail. This one is different. It has multiple characters. It's layered, visually dense. Your eye doesn't even know where to land first. You can't resolve the image in a single pass, and that inability to resolve it, that's what slows a scroll. That's what earns a click. This makes you come to the conclusion that horror lore thumbnails should probably feel like evidence and not promotion. The question a thumbnail needs to create is, what is this? And why are these things together? If a viewer can answer that immediately, they move on. If they can't, they stop. Stopping is clicking. One more thing worth showing you is the blur detail. When you apply depth of field, aka blur the background so the subjects are the clear focal point, the left side reads even more cleanly. 2 figures, resolved, safe. The right side stays dense and active, even blurred. Every element still demands attention. That's the visual principle doing its job. Now, this is where you get your own implementation. Make sure that you're testing every thumbnail you make with one question. Can someone resolve this image in a single pass? If yes, it's not working. Add complexity, remove resolution. The eye needs somewhere to get stuck, and you need to guide the eye to where that is. So they clicked. Now they have one more decision. Should they stay or should they go? Should they stay or should they go? And you have about 30 decisions to make that decision for them. The hook is your opening, the first 30 seconds of your video, sometimes even less. YouTube measures something called audience retention for this specific variable. That means what percentage of viewers are still watching at each point. The hook is where most people leave. If they leave early, the algorithm stops pushing your video entirely. So the hook isn't an introduction, it's the most load-bearing 30 seconds in the entire video. So I want you to hear both openings back to back, and I want you to judge for yourself which one would make you want to stay longer.
I really hope that you enjoy atmospheric horror because you're in for a treat with this one. I've had my eye on Reanimal since I first heard that it was announced. Created by the same team that made Little Nightmares 1 and 2. So while you're going to see some crazy similarities to the Little Nightmares franchise, just know that this is a completely original world and story, unrelated to the Little Nightmares universe. Now, it's important to point out, Reanimal shares a visual narrative style, much like Little Nightmares. There is very little dialogue and no documents or collectibles that expand on the greater lore as such, so we'll be going over what is shown to us and theorizing its purpose. And there is some pretty interesting stuff here to sink our teeth into. So without further ado, let's get into it.
5 children staring down a well. It looks like the start of a dark fairy tale, a story about friends sticking together to survive a nightmare. But Reanimal lies to you from the very first frame. This isn't a story about rescue, it's a story about a crime. From the creators of Little Nightmares, this game trades the abstract horror of a child's dream for the very real, gritty horror of war. We are going to break down why the monsters might not be real, why the flood is a hallucination, and how the secret ending reveals that 4 of these children are actually the villains.
So do you feel that? The first hook opened with the creator's feelings, their excitement, their anticipation. That's called tour framing. You're inviting the viewer to follow you somewhere, but the viewer hasn't decided to follow you yet. They haven't been given a reason to stay. The second hook dropped you into something. You are already behind. You need to keep watching to understand what crime, why these children, what frame one is hiding. So one hook asks the viewer to follow. The other makes them feel like they're already in the middle of something. What we learn from this is simple. Start in the conflict, not before it. Whatever the central contradiction of your video is, you want to open there, not with your feelings about the topic, not with the context, inside the tension. Here's how you find your conflict opening. Write your hook the normal way first, then read it back. And ask, where does the actual contradiction land? Cut everything before that line. That's where your video should start. So far, we've gone over 3 variables. All of them are pre-click decisions. The last one, though, most creators don't even think of as a packaging choice. But for cold audience, it might be the most decisive one. For those that don't understand what a cold audience is yet, let me explain. A cold audience is anyone finding your video through browse or search who doesn't know you yet or the topic. No relationship, no trust built. They're just deciding in real time whether you're worth their attention. Again, why should they give a fuck? For a cold audience, your runtime is a commitment ask, and they haven't decided yet if you're worth committing to. A cold viewer sees 26 minutes and makes a subconscious calculation before pressing play. Do I trust this creator enough to give them a half hour? Now, this trust could be to entertain them or to educate them. Most decide no. Those are views lost before a single second of your content is ever even watched. The 8-minute video reads differently. It reads as, this person knows what matters and cut everything else. Or, this is gonna be a quick rundown. That's a trust signal. Efficiency implies expertise. However, length and depth are not the same variable. This isn't about making short videos. The competitor covered the same game with a complete, coherent thesis in 8 minutes. Depth doesn't need length. It needs a clear argument. When every scene serves to build upon the last point made, the video finds its own natural ceiling. So before you record your next video, try this. Write 1 sentence. What is the single argument this video is about to make? Not the topic, the argument, the specific claim. If you can't write that sentence, the video isn't ready to be made yet. And yes, this applies to more than just gaming videos, but can definitely be applied to them. For example, Let's Plays. It's going to be way harder for you to entice somebody that is a cold viewer, as we reviewed, if you are just doing something basic without an outline or plan present. compared to if you did a challenge video or something like this analysis video that has a plan and a structure to it. Again, this applies across the board to all niches. You could be selling houses, you could be a pure business channel, you could be a kids channel. It doesn't matter. If there is no plan in play for this new age of YouTube, it just simply won't fly. When you have that sentence, every scene that doesn't serve it gets cut. That's how Runtime finds its ceiling naturally. Those are the 4 variables, but I have one more thing to say before we close out. None of this is about the quality of the content. The video that underperformed is a generally good video. And that's not a small thing. It's exactly what makes this worth your time. Because if quality alone was enough, the more thorough video would have won, right? It didn't. Packaging decided the outcome before the algorithm ever had a chance to weigh in. And if you have any suggestions on what you would want me to weigh in on, put that in the comments down below and I'll definitely get around to it when I get the chance. Have fun creating.